Millions of people skip filing a tax return every year, some because they're scared of the bill, some because life got messy, some because they figure the IRS won't notice. Here's what actually happens next, step by step, and it's worse than most people imagine with one huge exception, and one move that fixes almost everything. Let's break it down. First, split two situations that people constantly confuse because one is scary and one isn't. If the IRS owes you a refund and you don't file, there's no penalty at all. None. Penalties are a percentage of unpaid tax and you have none. Your only risk is the clock, 3 years to claim that refund, then it's gone forever. If you owe and don't file, that's where the machine starts. Everything that follows is about that second case. So you owe and didn't file. Penalty 1 arrives immediately, failure to file. 5% of your unpaid tax per month, up to 25%. Let that sink in, a quarter of your tax bill added in just 5 months. And if you're more than 60 days late, there's a minimum penalty even on small balances. This is the single most expensive penalty in the ordinary tax system. Penalty 2 stacks on top. Failure to pay, 0.5% per month on the unpaid balance, also up to 25%. And it keeps crawling long after the filing penalty maxes out. Then interest compounding daily at a rate that's floated around 7 to 8% lately, on the tax and on the penalties. This is the snowball, 3 meters running at once, all on the same debt. Here's the twist almost nobody knows, and it changes the whole strategy. The failure to file penalty is 10 times bigger than the failure to pay penalty. 5% a month versus 0.5%. Which means the smartest move when you can't afford your tax bill is to file anyway and pay nothing yet. Filing on time without paying costs you 1/10 of what not filing costs. Fear of the bill makes people commit the expensive mistake to avoid the cheap one. Wait a few years and it escalates. The IRS files your return for you. It's called a substitute for return, and it's built to be the worst version of your taxes. Single filing status. 0 deductions. 0 credits. Every 1099 counted as pure profit with no expenses. They calculate the maximum plausible bill, assess it, and start collecting on it. People who ignored 3 years of letters suddenly owe on a return they never would have signed. And this is the document that entire mess replaces. One Form 1040, straight from the IRS. Every consequence we've covered exists because this form didn't get filed. The penalties, the substitute return, the collection letters, all of it is the system trying to force this one page into existence. Filing it, even late, even unpaid, is what turns the machine off. 2 more quiet consequences. First, the audit clock never starts. Normally the IRS has 3 years after you file to question a return. No return, no clock, an unfiled year stays open forever. Second, collection gets real. After the assessment come liens on your property, levies on your bank account, and garnishment of your paycheck. None of it happens overnight. There are letters and warnings, but the endpoint is the government taking the money directly. Let's price out one real case. You owe $5,000 and don't file for a year. Failure to file, capped at $2,250 combined with failure to pay rules. Call it roughly $1,250 from the filing penalty alone in 5 months. Add failure to pay for the year, add compounding interest, and 12 months later that $5,000 problem is roughly $6,500 and growing. Filing on time and paying nothing would have kept it near $5,600 and unlocked a payment plan immediately. Now the good news, because there's a lot of it. The fix is boring and it works. File the missing returns, your real ones, with your real deductions. In most ordinary cases, the IRS wants the last 6 years to consider you back in compliance. A real return replaces a substitute return, and the bill usually shrinks the moment your actual deductions and credits land on paper. Then deal with the balance, and the menu is friendlier than people expect. Payment plans are nearly automatic online for balances under $50,000, and being on one cuts the failure to pay penalty in half. If it's your first offense, first-time penalty abatement can wipe the failure to file penalty entirely. You have to ask. And for genuine hardship, offers in compromise and hardship status exist. The system is built to collect, not to destroy you. One caution to keep this honest. Everything here describes forgetting, avoiding, and falling behind civil problems with civil fixes. Deliberately hiding income or refusing to file as a protest is a different universe and a criminal one. That's rare, and it's not you. For the millions who are just behind, this is a paperwork problem, and paperwork problems have paperwork solutions. Quick recap. Owed a refund. No penalty, just a 3-year clock. Owe tax. Not filing costs 10 times more than not paying, so always file even if you can't pay $1. Wait too long and they file the worst version for you with no expiration date. The fix at any stage. File the real returns, get on a plan, ask for abatement. The machine stops the day the paperwork starts. One quick note on who makes this. The tax breakdown is prepared by a tax accountant with over 15 years of public accounting experience, so every figure here is checked against the IRS sources. It's always educational, never advice for your specific situation. Bottom line, the scariest thing about unfiled taxes is the imagining. The reality is a penalty math problem with a known solution. File, even late, even broke. Every day you file earlier is money kept, and every option gets better once the return exists. This is general education, not tax advice, so check with a pro about your situation. Subscribe to the Tax Breakdown for simple tax-saving tips before you file.